I'm a Fulbright student in Vienna, Austria. I'm standing right now in the Ressel Park in front of St. Charles Church, the Karlskirche. And I'm doing a research project here in Vienna through Fulbright. My project is an oral history of women in post-war Austria. And basically I interview older women, over 70, and ask them questions about what their life was like, what their lives were like at the end of the war and during the post-war period. So that's from 1945 to 1955 when Allied occupation forces left Austria and Austria was free.
And how has studying German at Agnes Scott prepared you for this enterprise?
Well, first I have to say that when I entered Agnes Scott, I wasn't planning on studying German at all. I ended up in a German class like 3 weeks after it had started by a fluke, and the teacher was just really nice and let me add the class late. And that class ended up changing the course of my whole life, because I was studying history with a focus on Central Europe, and but I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to do with that, and now I live in Austria. So it really completely changed things. I felt like I got a really good foundation in German grammar and basics from taking classes at Agnes Scott, and it was also helpful that we had an Austrian teaching assistant, so I got a little taste of what Austrian dialect is like, because especially for my research, when you talk to older people, they often have much stronger dialects than most young people that you would meet today. So I feel like I needed a pretty good grounding in regular German, and then I needed a good working familiarity with dialects.
What would you recommend to current students of German at Agnes Scott College? What is the single most important thing they should consider during their German years?
Well, I would answer that in kind of two parts. I think that the most important thing when you're at Agnes Scott studying German is to talk. You need to talk and practice, and don't be afraid to speak up in class. Herr Janse, the teacher who taught me beginning German, can probably attest. I talked in class more than anybody else. In the beginning, I made more mistakes than anybody else, but just by virtue of having talked a lot, my German improved a great deal. And it also helps if you watch German movies, listen to podcasts, just to familiarize yourself with the sound of the language. And then the other half of my recommendation is that you can't really learn a language completely unless you come to a country where you'll use it. So I think it's good to have a goal in mind, like why are you learning German? Is it just to fulfill the language requirement, or like what is it about German that interests you, and where do you want to go, and what do you want to do with the language? Because I think that's what will pull you through when you're sitting there going, 4 cases, what am I doing with this? So keep your goal in mind and keep pushing ahead.